everybody, if you have not seen Spider-Man Far From Home, please be aware that there are going to be some spoilers about it in this video. So if you have not seen it, please press pause, go watch the movie, come back and press play because the spoilers are going to start as of now. Welcome back if you click pause. If you haven't, then this is a little bit awkward. But Spider-Man Far From Home just came out a bit ago on digital and on physical media. So I did get a chance to be able to fully watch and enjoy the movie. I did see a bit of it previously, but I didn't get to watch the full thing because I missed out on like the end stuff. But now that I got the full experience, I have some theories based on what happens at the end. Primarily what happens with Mysterio revealing the identity of Peter Parker to New York City and essentially the world. And also the sort of ending with Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury and Talos, the Kree from Captain Marvel. Spider-Man Far From Home was recently released on digital and physical media. I was able to watch it and I actually really enjoyed it. I think I might have enjoyed it just a little bit more than Homecoming. I'm a big fan of this Tom Holland version. So I really hope that Sony and Disney are able to extend their deal beyond this new deal of just one solo Spider-Man movie and possibly an Avengers type cameo or movie. So I hope they extend that deal. But I really liked Far From Home. But what really had me inspired to do this video was the ending. Now the big ending is that Mysterio, who has seemingly been killed, reveals in a leaked video to the Daily Bugle that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So essentially now New York City and the world know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and it ends on a big WTF moment, which is this one here.
Spider-Man's name is Peter Parker. What the?
And then there is eventually the sort of during credits, post-credits sort of scene, which Marvel is very much now known for, which we find out that Nick Fury is actually on a Kree ship out in space, and Nick Fury and Maria Hill that have been on Earth this entire time, or what might have been this entire time, is actually played by Talos and his sort of wife, which were from Captain Marvel. Now, what really sparked the idea about this video is how they're going to proceed with this into Spider-Man number 3, obviously untitled at this point, and what they can really do with it. Now, I think they're sort of trying to write Spider-Man out of the MCU because of the big question mark Sony deal and how that's sort of going to proceed beyond this third movie. A lot of people are thinking that the storyline of the third movie is going to be of One Last Day, which is essentially Spider-Man sort of having his identity revealed and having to deal with a couple of other things. To be honest with you, I haven't read the comics, so I don't really know. But what I found interesting about this whole ending with the Kree is a lot of people were questioning what was the whole point of telling us this. And actually it even came out that Jake Gyllenhaal and Tom Holland had no idea that that scene even existed. Now what sort of sparked the idea of this video was that scene, along with the Mysterio reveal scene. So I got to thinking, why was the Kree so important? Why was it important to add that post-credit scene into Spider-Man Far From Home? And I think it very much is about the third Spider-Man movie. So how they can sort of go further from here, I think it's actually going to be based on the Kree, and the Kree, or possibly even Talos himself, will be able to essentially save Spider-Man in the third film. So essentially my theory is this. Yes, we can do a Secret Wars or Secret Invasion sort of thing with the Kree, but, well, this can actually kind of snowball into that, but I'll get to that in a second. But if we consider that Nick Fury's identity has been Talos this entire time, why not use that to our advantage and sort of have the Kree save Spider-Man in a way that, or Peter Parker essentially in a way, that they can now be seen separately, and so his secret identity can remain a secret. Now, this obviously isn't going to be changing the entire world of Spider-Man or anything like that. We can still kind of do a Secret Invasion storyline mixed with what I'm kind of going with here. But the idea is that Talos or a Kree member can essentially shapeshift into Peter Parker or Spider-Man. So that way they can kind of be seen separately. Nick Fury can just tell him, hey, be Peter Parker, or hey, be Spider-Man for 5-10 minutes. Make sure that other people can see Peter Parker and kind of distinguish that the two are not the same. That way they can kind of have this disconnect and be like, okay, Peter Parker actually isn't Spider-Man, thus sort of discrediting the Daily Bugle a bit. J. Jonah Jameson gets even angrier about this because he leaked this entire story, or essentially presented it with Mysterio's help. So my idea is that Peter Parker and Spider-Man can sort of be seen separately, but the duality of it is going to be, and the kind of the big play about it is going to be figuring out a way that they can balance and switch one to the other. So how can Peter Parker be himself and sort of people understand and recognize him, and sort of his friends not even be aware of, or his friends that don't already know he's Spider-Man, be aware of him and like know he's in their presence and Spider-Man's also there. So clearly the two can't be the same person. And how he can be Spider-Man but also not be recognized or have his identity leaked and be confirmed type of thing. I don't know if this is making a lot of sense, but it makes a lot of sense in my head. So elevator pitch version of Spider-Man 3 that I'm kind of going for here is that Peter Parker revealed as Spider-Man at the end of Far From Home. Movie number 3 is that he's going to be having to deal with the struggle of proving he's not Spider-Man while also being Spider-Man. So by having a Kree help him who can shapeshift, the Kree can be Peter Parker while he's off saving people, at the same time that if sort of Spider-Man had to step in to something and sort of kind of hold off a bad guy while Peter Parker was still being seen in public, and then come in and kind of they can swap. So there would kind of be like a 2 Spider-Man situation, and maybe even the Kree who's taking his place, if it's not Talos, can kind of have this identity crisis himself and want to be Spider-Man, which would kind of be an interesting story. But that's essentially the elevator pitch. Is it perfect? No. But it kind of solves the MCU problem. It still lets sort of Peter Parker be off doing his Spider-Man thing, but kind of draw attention away from the fact that we just blew up his identity in Times Square to everyone and the world, while also sort of putting him on the side for later if this Sony deal doesn't work out. So that way he can still be off doing Peter Parker Spider-Man stuff, but at the same time he doesn't have to be part of the main story where he has to become the new Iron Man, where he has to be such a crucial character to the entire thing, especially with this deal being so shaky. That's kind of the elevator pitch version. I know it's not perfect, like I said, but it's just something that I found really interesting that could be a good concept used for a Spider-Man number 3 in this franchise. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Do you think that they're going to do One Last Day? Do you think something like what this theory is that I have could work out? Let me know your thoughts down below, or just let me know what storyline would you like to see them do for the 3rd Spider-Man movie. Let me know down below. It's getting really late, so my brain is kind of fried. I've done about 4 videos now, so if this video didn't make sense, I apologize. But other than that, that's all I really have for now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.